Hi, Genevieve Jacobs from Region Media with this week's news update, and it's a very pertinent one. Although you can't see it, there's an enormous queue behind me here at the Surge Centre at Garran as the Omicron variant hits Canberra and really explodes into all of our lives. Dr. Ian Maher is with me. He's an infectious diseases specialist and he's also the COVID at home care lead for the pandemic. Ian, talk us through what we're seeing. The Garran Surge Centre has altered its purpose. Clearly we've got thousands of people now being diagnosed every day. What stage are we up to with the pandemic?
Yeah, so I mean, this is, I guess, as everyone's read and seen, is sort of an exponential growth in the numbers, and it's what we've seen, I guess, now in every country that does have COVID, and probably more real because of the Omicron variant. So we're seeing increasing numbers. I think encouragingly from the great work that Canberrans have done so far with their vaccination, we're just not seeing that translate into the sheer hospitalisation that we're seeing in August. And I think, in fact, from what we've seen in COVID care at home, actually much milder disease, people doing very well.
Yeah, and you were making the interesting point to me that there is quite a lot of sort of stress and anxiety about this in the community, but in fact, comparatively, this is moving along reasonably well in Canberra. We're managing it quite well.
Yeah, I think certainly compared to the other variants that we've seen come through, and certainly before vaccination, this is a very different entity from what we're seeing now, and the vast majority of people are actually doing very well with this at home. They're self-caring for them. The sheer number obviously does put stress on systems and put stress on the laboratories, put stress on the clinicians that are caring for them, but I think most people here in Canberra are trying to do the right thing. They're staying away from those that may be immunocompromised, they're staying away from the elderly to make sure that they isolate at home and self-care.
So if you're diagnosed and if you are at home needing to manage your own illness or somebody is caring for you, what do you need to know about COVID care at home?
Yeah, so our program can assist in that space, and obviously we, with the exploding numbers, don't have the ability to contact everyone, but we want to get out there and make sure that those people that are potentially vulnerable or have risk factors can escalate and get care in the home. We have clinicians, we have access to video conferencing, we can get medications into people, and so we want to be hearing about cases where there could be risk factors or deterioration, and we give those phone lines to everyone that comes through with COVID positivity, that they can contact us and get to them.
Okay, so if you've got a COVID patient who's active at home at the moment, really it's a matter of getting through it, isn't it? Practically speaking, it's fluids, making sure that people stay hydrated, it's the Panadol for the fever or paracetamol.
Yeah, that's right, no, certainly. And there's lots of help and assistance that you can get from at least the ACT website, but there are other websites out there about self-care. Paracetamol is a very, very useful agent, as well as Nurofen, and keeping hydrated are the three keys to that. But also having sort of the logistic support around you, and certainly setting something up like that now and sort of talking to your friends and family around to say, should I get it? Can you be a person I can call on? Or also reaching out to those around you so you can help them.
And who needs to be careful? I'm conscious of this. I've got quite severe asthma, so I know I'm one of those people that needs to really watch out and be particularly careful. Who needs to really watch out for their symptoms if they acquire it?
Yeah, so the risk factors that we've always known with this disease are the elderly, and so that's the largest attributable risk to not doing well. But also those that have diabetes, those that have bad asthma or lung disease. Liver disease is another issue, and then there's the immunocompromised, and so those are the sort of the major groups that we do want to know about. There are also another list of other disorders, but they're the majority of the people. And certainly if you have multiple risk factors, then that puts you at a bit more risk, I guess, than the general population. That said, still the vaccination works very well in that group, and even though we have a lot of people with that, they're still protected well by the vaccine. So if you do have lots of those risk factors, it may be that you need to reach out to your GP, reach out to COVID care at home, and certainly escalate things if you feel shortness of breath.
And that's the key thing. You've said to me the very large majority of people will get through this with perhaps some fairly uncomfortable time at home, but they'll be okay. What are the signs when things are getting bad? When do you know that you need external medical help and perhaps to go to hospital?
Yeah, so since COVID's been around, it has the same sort of profile. So first of all, you get fevers and you feel unwell, you might feel achy and you have your temperatures, but then you can, in the sort of day 5, 6, 7 mark, start to feel slightly short of breath. And that only happens in a small now margin of people, and if that is happening, you certainly should be making noise. We want to hear about it. You want to be phoning COVID care at home, you want to be phoning your GP and actually escalating those things. Where we do see that, a lot of people are able to manage that still at home. It doesn't mean you need to come in for oxygen, but we just keep a very close eye on that.
Okay, so just again where people can find those resources, Ian, if they're in this situation as thousands and thousands of people in Canberra now are, what's the best place to go straight up?
Yeah, so the ACT Public Health website is the best place. We've got one sort of system there where you can get access to all of those, and there's the questions and answers there. It also puts you through to links, so you can also download the app, and so COVID Care at Home have access to an app that you can self-care and monitor. And that app allows you to trigger if there's any concerns, and you'll get a phone call from that which triggers. So yeah, the ACT website has all of that information on there and how to best self-care.
And look, I think just a very sincere shout out to everybody in the ACT's healthcare system. Valiant work. People are obviously run off their feet. They're just giving with so much heart and so much care and so much compassion for the community. So from all of us, a very, very big and genuine thank you.
Thank you very much. And I just feel very lucky and blessed to be able to work with such a great bunch of individuals here at the Canberra Hospital and also throughout the ACT. I think ACT has done a wonderful job actually. It's going to be testament, I think, to how we pull through this with everyone being vaccinated and doing the right thing and protecting, I guess, the vulnerable.
Yeah, look, I think we've got another great opportunity for Canberra to be one of those petri dishes in a way where we've got a very highly vaccinated community. We've got people who are smart and thoughtful and caring and compassionate and doing the right thing. Let's see how it all works out. Also making news this week, not surprisingly, rapid antigen tests and where and how you can find them. We've had an enormous response to that story from Lottie Twyford. We've also been writing about Summernats, and again, that's not particularly surprising at this time of year. Summernats has changed a fair bit. Tim Gavel has written an opinion piece for us that says, why isn't it as welcomed by some Canberrans as it could be given the boost that it gives to the economy? There is furious debate happening on our pages about just that. Lots of people very sad indeed at the news that Sammy's in Civic is closing. That's been an institution. I reckon all of us have been to the movies in Civic and have been to Sammy's first for some terrific Asian food, but it is no more in that location at least. And Marg Wade has also written a fascinating article for us about the dogs in Civic. You know, the ones, the sort of the elongated, ghostly, menacing dogs. The reasoning behind that is a fascinating story of science as well as art. So go into the website, join our great big Canberra conversation about everything that matters locally, all the local stories. We've got a weekly newsletter that drops into your inbox every Thursday afternoon. Sign up for that, just come onto the site and join the great big Canberra conversation. Ian, good luck as you continue to cope with all of this. And again, huge thanks from all of us in the Canberra community. Thank you for making the time available. I'm Genevieve Jacobs and this is Region Media.